PVE ammunition used to be relatively hard to come by if you wanted some of the top ammunition within the game, but recently there has been some changes with the latest update and patch 0.15 making all ammunition spawns significantly higher, but we don't know for how long, and so this video is going to cover two routes that you can take in order to maximize how much ammunition that you're going to be able to get out of the game whilst it lasts, and we don't know if maybe next week they come out and remove this and make the ammunition the exact same, because there was a lot of removed ammunition from what we had previously in the game available from traders. Things like M62 was removed from traders, so now we have to find it if we want to use it. So with that being said, let's jump into it. And whilst we're jumping into the raid, if you do me a solid favor of liking the video, that would be massively appreciated. It's the biggest thing that can help me out whilst I'm trying to help you out. So the first map and the first spot is on Lighthouse. Now, usually on Lighthouse you have a variety of different spawns. There is one spawn in particular that is really close to the actual road camp, which usually I hate spawning there because you just have to run a long way away to actually get away. And then of course you have a lot of spawns near the road. Now the road spawns, these are where you want to be, because when you spawn near or on top of the road, you want to make your way to the underwater buildings, whatever you want to call them, the sunken buildings that are in the top right of the map, because of the fact that now you can go and loot up those buildings because they have a ton of ammunition spawns within them, outside of them, and within the porta potties that are sat outside as well. So with that being said, when you go into those buildings, you'll find them all across the floor, on top of tables and that sort of stuff. Lots of bags of ammunition, both, you know, for anywhere from a 30-piece ammunition to 120 pieces. And I've been finding a lot of BT, BP, we found SOST rounds, we found AP rounds for various different ones. Some of the highest tier ammunition in the game just lying around on a lot of tables within all of the maps. So once we've kind of gone in that location, we'll then move just slightly further down the road in that direction anyway, and then we find ourselves the kind of abandoned building that's out in the shore, kind of like a dock area. And once you've gone in there, you can loot around in there. There's some rare spawns that you can find stuff in as well, so a little bit of money to cover the cost of your gear should you get taken out. But then once we've kind of looted up those areas on Lighthouse, we'll move over to a little kind of truck, or I guess a detached truck with the door open. Inside of there you can find ammunition and tech items that is quite nice to open, as well as actually finding yourself chalets, because the chalets have so many rounds of ammunition that you can get, and that means that when you're running around in the chalet areas, you can loot up the basketball court or the football court or tennis court, whatever, the sports court just down below the first kind of second chalet on the top of the mountain. And once you've kind of done that, you'll find that inside the tent there's ammunition spawns, just outside of the tent there's ammunition spawns, and right over directly near where you find the dead scavs you'll find also the ammunition as well. Then once you've looted that up, you make your way up the stairs, and on the left you'll find yourself some deck chairs, and on the deck chairs there's ammunition as well. You can find yourself ammunition inside of the building as well, covered everywhere as you start moving around. When you go into the second floor of the chalet, from the pool area down on the bottom story, you can then go up to the second, and in there will be essentially some ammunition spawns on some of the containers and weapon boxes and weapon component boxes, which is great to open and find some more ammo. And then once you've done that, you can go upstairs, and inside of the kind of entrance towards the garage area from the main room of the chalet on the top floor, you'll find yourself some ammo that can spawn on the ironing board and just on the floor as well. And then once you've done that, you can go outside of the chalet, and just outside of the chalet there are a ton of ammunition spawns as well, all over some of those wooden crates that are lying around inside of the truck that's directly outside the front door. You have also got weapon boxes that spawn opposite to the main door of the chalet, and you can check those. There's duffel bags everywhere, and there's a ton of ammunition spawns just lying next to a lot of the trucks as well. And if you see the 4x4, you can see that there is the flap open of the 4x4 in the rear of the trunk, and on that you'll find that there's ammunition spawns as well. And then once you've done that, you can move down into the first chalet, and down on the first chalet you'll find yourself some ammunition spawns in essentially the kind of a separate building, the annex, I don't know what you want to call it, but essentially the first building closest to chalet 2. Once you've gone in there, you can loot up the garage area. There can be armor repair kits, which are nice to pick up for some loot. And then you want to run directly into the chalet and you'll find weapon boxes. And near the health area of the second or the first chalet, you'll actually find yourself some ammunition that can be lying on the benches near the duffel in the sauna. And directly next to the sauna, there's also some actual magazines and weapon parts that spawn. It's worth checking those magazines because they can sometimes have some really good ammunition inside of those as well. You also want to be checking outside of the chalet as well because there can be ammunition spawns in and around. You want to be checking in next to the kind of wine area because there is some grenade boxes as well as an ammunition box within the pool room as well, so checking inside of there. And then kind of once you've done that, you just hop out of the raid, and that is the simplest kind of run for Lighthouse and how I've been able to farm up hundreds of BT, BP, M855A1, M856A1, all of these ammunitions that used to be very difficult to actually find and be able to use reliably within PvE, and now feel a lot more usable after you've done a couple of runs like this. And if you just keep doing it and stockpiling them up, because we have no idea if BSG are going to nerf this into the ground and remove a lot of those ammunition types from being found like easily findable within the raids, since they do feel significantly buffed in terms of the quality of the ammunition within the game. I would highly recommend right now doing it. Then we jump into another run. Now this run in particular is very good, not only because it is very good for ammunition, but also because of the recent changes to the hideout system and the upgrading of essentially all of your kind of gear racks within the hideout. A lot of the tech items are very, very expensive, so we're running on reserve. And what's special about reserve in particular is that there are 3 main rooms that are very, very good. In fact, 4, but one of them is you don't require anything for. But for this run, I'm typically using my RB Orb 1 key, RB Orb 2 key, and RB Orb 3 key. These are the only 3 keys that you'll need, and you don't even need those if you do this run either. But those are the ones that I am using, and I would recommend them if you're trying to maximize this run. Otherwise, I would just run Lighthouse. But the RB Orb 1, 2, 3 keys essentially open metal gates within the black pawn building and the white pawn building. And when you go inside of those, you go up to the 2nd floor and the 4th floor of those buildings. And on on one side of the building, which is facing where you would see the medical building essentially, you will find that there is going to be the gates, and on those gates you unlock them, and inside there's a ton of ammunition as well as weapon components, and you find yourself a ton of drawers. Now the drawers are very good for getting your money back for the keys because of the fact that you find things like filament lamps, as well as finding yourself intel folders. You can find all sorts within the drawers, including Tetrises, and wide variety of other different bits and bobs. Keys, marked room keys, that sort of stuff can spawn in the drawers, which is worth checking because a lot of those items are very, very expensive right now. Nails, this sort of stuff, grabbing those, taking them out of the raid can cover the cost of any gear should you get taken out, as well as actually grant you millions of rubles every single raid as well. So reserve for me would be the way to go because it's a combination of earning yourself a bit of money as well as actually getting yourself that ammunition that you're probably wanting for the game. So when you go inside of all of those rooms, they'll be on the shelves. There will also be ammunition on the top of the buildings. Right at the very top of the building, there's ammo spawns that are basically all over the top of the roof for both buildings. And you also have ammunition spawns in some of the rooms and on the floors in between the 2 sides of the building. So you want to be checking all of the floors for ammunition spawns as well in those buildings, the barracks buildings. And when you've kind of gone through all of those floors, you can either go down into D2 to continue the loot run, which we didn't in this specific one because I just wanted quick and easy ways in and out, as well as opening up the marked room should you wish to open up the marked room. I managed to find myself another one of our LMGs, the M60, and the M60 has a ton of rounds within it, like M80, M62, that can actually spawn within the magazine. You can get anywhere from like 50 to 100 rounds worth of ammunition in those LMGs, since they do have the 100 round mags or boxes, ammo boxes. And so yeah, there's another way of getting some ammunition, as well as opening up the marked room to see whether or not you can get your luck rolling in the right direction and pick up some key cards and some of the more expensive items that can spawn in those marked rooms. But primarily today was just to showcase 2 runs that I used to get a ton of ammunition, and have probably got over 2,000 rounds worth of ammunition in maybe 4 or 5 runs in total, of good ammunition, that is, not picking up just random trash, but getting some of the best ammunition in the game, and probably over 2,000 rounds in total in about 5 or 6 raids. So really worth doing, and you can store them in your ammo boxes. I'd highly recommend doing this right now, because we know BSG, they typically don't like it when people find out that they can get a ton of ammunition and good ammunition. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it once again, and of course subscribe if you want to see some more Escape from Tarkov PVE content, and I will see you there. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.